Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Voices from the Mausoleum, and welcome back to another episode of Found Footage Fridays with my co-host, Tom Reimer.
Happy Friday. Here we go. What are we talking about this week? Yes.
Yes. All right. So this week, I'm thinking about. Never mind. It's not important. Okay. I was thinking about what we were about to start arguing, or not arguing, but discussing before we started recording this portion of the episode. Anyway, so this week we are talking. What year did it come out? It doesn't even tell me. 2022.
Yep, brand new.
Oh, dang. Okay. The 2022.
That's too soon. Too quick on the draw.
I'm just going to start I'm just going to set it up and then not say it so that you do it. And then it's like, okay. The 2022 found footage movie, Tahoe Joe. Tom is forcing me to get creative with the way our filming, our movie things come up.
Tahoe Joe.
Tahoe Joe. Right. So this is on Tubi. You can watch this for free right now. Mm-hmm. It has a 6 out of 10 on IMDb and a 2.9 out of 5 on Letterboxd. In 2022, filmmaker Dylan Brown set out with Green Beret and wilderness survival expert Michael Rock to document an attempt to find a missing person. What they found instead was a horror thought to be a myth. That's kind of misleading, huh?
A little bit.
Yeah, I was just thinking, I was like, I don't know that that's actually true, but I did learn that you can edit synopsises.
Oh,
yep.
Interesting.
So, fun fact. Anyway, so this is I mean, I don't think it gives it away, right? Because I'm trying to think of what the cover looks like. This is a Bigfoot found footage.
It's a Bigfoot found footage.
It's Bigfoot.
It's Bigfoot, yeah.
It's Bigfoot. All right, so you give your rating first this time.
Okay, we're getting it right into ratings.
I mean, why not? We always do it. Like, we get wrapped up in our emotions. We're very passionate about found footage here on Found Footage Fridays. And then we're like, oh, wait, did we say the name of the movie? Oh, wait, did we do our rating? So I'm trying to keep us in there this time.
So, I think similar to some found footage movies I've really liked, this movie, it has sort of like a feel, like a familiar feel, like, and I don't mean just because it features a bunch of people running through the woods with their cameras. Yeah. The setup, it just feels familiar in not a bad way. Like this is, and I think that's why we're seeing a lot of people who like this movie. I mean, most people who would call themselves found footage fans probably started off watching the Blair Witch Project. And so anything that sort of feels similar to that, I think a lot of people are going to want to watch and are going to want to like. People like things that are familiar. I feel like this movie had a lot of potential. It didn't quite hit all the marks for me. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to give it 5 tapes out of 10. 5 tapes.
Okay.
Which is by no means a low score. It's an okay score.
Yeah. I am learning that I am really picky about Bigfoot found footage movies.
I expect you to be, yes.
Yeah.
Well, like you didn't like Willow Creek. I did.
I hated Willow Creek.
I really liked that.
It was so boring. It's got some shot-for-shot things that are straight from the Blair Witch Project, like the stupid tent moment. I'm like, come on, man.
Sure.
That stuff gets under my skin. Anyway, however, there is a found footage Bigfoot movie called Exist with an S on the end. Mm-hmm. That is top tier Bigfoot found
which
footage.
I have not seen.
I still have to see that. It's so good. So I think that's my my whatever. Like that's
you're comparing this to a lot of those movies.
Yeah. So so anytime I watch a found footage Bigfoot, which there are a few, there's not just 1 or 2, there's a few of these. Mm-hmm. That's what I always go back to. But yeah, so for this one, really unique ideas in some aspects. Just the execution was the part that felt a little lackluster for me. So I'm going to give this like a 4.5. And I chuckled because that's the exact difference of our rating from last week's episode.
Okay.
That's why I laughed when you said a 5, because we're only like a
That's
half
funny.
off.
I was like a half
Yeah.
tape ahead of you last week too.
Yeah. So
different scores, but
funny.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of where it sits for me. I think there's some stuff like I really liked. There's even some really cool shots specifically of the Bigfoot that I didn't expect to like as much as I did. But this one, we talked last week about how real the one we watched felt, and this one did not feel real. I think the acting was a bit of a weakness in this one, and that made it hard to buy into the story, to buy into the fear. Just wasn't as believable. So
yeah, the acting, it wasn't all around, but there was definitely some weaker performances in this movie.
Yeah.
One of my biggest, it's interesting you mentioned some of the shots that you liked. One of my biggest gripe with this movie wouldn't be the acting necessarily, but it would be that they showed too much. So we talk about, some of these lower budget found footage, and I don't know anything about the budget of this film, full disclosure, but
yeah,
I think one of the mistakes that we've talked about this many times in the past, some found footage films make, is that they try to show too much of the creature, the monster, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And they don't necessarily have the budget or the ability to do it right. And
it's
I feel like
$2,000.
$2,000, which is still, that's impressive to put a movie like this out for that budget.
Yeah, $2,000 is, I mean, it's a lot in some respects, but it's not in the aspect in the tank making a movie.
No, absolutely. No, it's not much at all. So yeah, very impressive.
Yeah.
So, but I feel like this movie would have been served better if they showed less of the Sasquatch.
Yeah. So there really is only one shot specifically of the Sasquatch that I liked, and it's the one in the background. It wasn't the one where you see more, because I agreed that the more I saw, the less I liked.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I agree with that. But yeah, I mean, I think I don't know, like I feel like because this one wasn't that long.
No, pretty short.
Yeah, it was pretty short. But I think, I think it felt very like it just, I don't know, lackluster is the only word coming to mind. Because I think the premise is neat, and I know we're gonna dive more into that in just a second. But like there's some stuff, especially with the ending, that I thought, oh, this could be like really good,
Yeah.
And then it just didn't quite pick up enough speed to get there. So
yeah. It never quite got there. Like it was, I thought there was a lot of potential, as I said, for some scary moments. And then there was just a lot of a dynamic between the two of them and this guy they picked up in the, this guide or whoever he was, which really, in my opinion, took away from the rest of the movie. Like it was more about who's this guy taking them out into the woods and them sort of like, I don't know, getting into a pissing contest with him. Like, I don't know.
No, I totally agree.
You know what I mean?
None of that, I didn't buy any of that. Unfortunately, like none of it felt real. Like even the character archetype that he's supposed to be, I just didn't buy into it too much. Like,
no, but I mean, it has the framework.
It really does. And that's what makes
really
these episodes
hard.
Because then you're like, you see all the things that could be from it, or like the things that like really were good. It just didn't quite.
Well, that's why I gave it 5. I mean, 5 tapes they're halfway there. I mean, there's a lot of good in this movie. It just wasn't.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to spoil?
Spoil. Yeah.
So the shot specifically is the one where the guy that goes missing is writing in an atlas or something, and Bigfoot's moving behind him.
And that's the shot you really like.
I really liked it because I didn't notice him at first.
Oh, see, so I really like the shot. I mean, I really like the look of it, but I thought it was like, I don't know, it was almost too much for me, right?
Oh,
So like,
was it
he
really? See, I
sets up
really
this
liked it.
shot, and what are the odds at that exact moment?
I
The
guess I didn't really
Bigfoot is
think
like
about it like
slinking
that.
past him. It felt very amateurish to me.
It reminds me of a lot of Bigfoot footage though that people submit as reality, and that's probably
Fair.
why I was kind of into it. But I also like I was focused on him and like whatever. I didn't notice it until it was like
Yeah.
halfway through its little path, and I was like,
Yeah.
it
Yep.
just kind of caught me off guard. I
Yeah,
thought that shot was good.
the shot was good, and there wasn't. But again, the reason it was good is because you only sort of see a little bit of
Not much, yeah,
the creature. Yeah.
yeah.
Later on, you get like a clearer look, and it looks like a guy walking through the woods in a furry like costume that got it like
Like a gorilla suit.
Spirit Halloween. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Which I love Spirit Halloween.
The hands too. Like the close-ups of the hands were too much.
Yeah. Honestly, like if you cut some of that out, I think it would have made a big difference.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think this is definitely one where less would have been more.
Yeah. So should we talk about the plot a little bit?
Yeah. So
why do they go out in the woods? Remind me, I forget.
So there's the one guy that's like a Bigfoot enthusiast.
Yeah.
And he goes out looking for Bigfoot. He goes missing. He gets attacked. Right. He goes missing. Yeah. The guy that was in contact with him about his Bigfoot stuff, and I guess they were like friends. He was not very sad that he was missing. That he didn't seem very sad. He was just kind of like, oh yeah, I don't know where he is.
Yeah, and I was trying to figure out, did he really not know him that well? Yeah.
I know, because then he goes on to reference him as being like a good friend. And I was like,
yeah.
Okay, well, anyway. Yeah, and so then that's when the other two guys meet up with the guys that went missing's son, which he didn't even end up going with them, so I'm not even really sure.
Yeah, that didn't seem that was an unnecessary.
Yeah. And so then they go out, they meet up with that stranger, and then the point is to get answers on what happened to this friend.
Yep.
But in doing so, they're backtracking and going to like these places that he went to, and then that's when they start encountering stuff.
Yep.
And then, there's like the running through the wood shots, which were fine. I didn't have any complaints about that. I thought that looked good.
There's the person goes off into the woods and doesn't come back.
And then they find him later.
Yeah. Yeah, that was interesting.
That scene where they find him laid over the log or the tree that fell down or whatever it is, that to me, there really could have benefited from more blood.
Yes.
Because a little bit of amount that was there felt like he would be fine. Like,
yeah, I actually was like waiting. I was like, is he okay? Is he
I know.
all right?
I waited for him to wake up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he did, and they just left him there.
Oh yeah, they didn't even I feel like they didn't even check him to see if he was breathing.
There was no investment in this guy.
Man, he could have just been asleep. Maybe he tripped and just hit his face on that log. Like that's what it sort of looked like. I mean, he certainly wasn't eaten or mauled or anything.
No, he just had like blood on his neck and his face a little bit. It definitely could have been a fall, and they were just like, "Nope, I'm out." I don't know what the intent was with that specifically, but I think they could have really benefited from hiding part of his body out of sight of the camera and utilizing more blood. It would have been way more effective, rather.
Now, an interesting thing with this movie that I kind of liked was this sort of idea that the government was covering all of this up. Obviously, we really like that conspiracy sort of thing. I wanted more of that.
Oh, me too.
And so but then they kill off the one person who's sort of, I know that was the point, the one person who's sort of buying into the conspiracy, because the other two are we work for the government. So I I really liked that and wanted like to know more about why the government, because I tried to think about like why would the government be covering this up? Why would the government want to hide the fact that there's a Bigfoot in the woods killing people? Like what they'd be able to, like I don't know what was the why? Like I want to know more about that.
Well, and I also too, like, I don't know that it necessarily addressed this or if I just filled in all these spaces myself, which is possible because I really liked that angle too.
Yeah.
I also was like thinking government like also captured them and did things to them. And like I kind of went like another direction with like what I was thinking was going on with the government and the, like
Government captured who?
the Bigfoots.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Hmm.
I mean, because if you like, I don't know, like I said, I don't think that they don't address that like head
They
on.
don't.
It's
They
just
don't.
something I was thinking about when I
Well,
just
and
assume that's what the government
it's
does.
also sort of like it's open ended on whether or not it actually is the government or it's just this guy.
You're right.
Because I mean, some of the things, there's no cell service out here. Like, how many times do you go deep into the woods and get
Yeah.
cell service? Probably that's the case in most, heavily wooded areas in the mountains,
Yeah.
or in Nevada or wherever they are. Like, I don't know. That to me doesn't necessarily mean the government is involved, but
Well, and to your point, you can also buy a scrambler like off Amazon or
sure.
something.
Yep.
Like it's
Yeah.
not that difficult to obtain. Yeah, I really liked the government thing.
Yeah.
Like I think what would have been really cool is if they had introduced that part with the friend.
Yep.
Like if the friend, the first friend that goes missing, if like we get this little bit of him, right? Because we don't really see him for that long. And maybe during his attack, there's like this weird thing where suddenly he's being taken away from the attack and the
Yeah.
Bigfoot is put down or something, right? And then we're like, what? And then we get into, and then remove the conspiracy character altogether and then just have these two friends going into the woods to try to figure out what happened to their friend. They
Yep.
discover this a bunker. I don't know. There could have been like so many things to go. That was like the strongest story element for me
Yeah.
was the government part
And they didn't follow it. It
No.
became just a Bigfoot movie.
with like a footnote.
Yeah, you're right. That was the strongest element to this movie, and you could almost make another movie just about that. Like I almost feel like you also could have done that at the end, like towards the end, like when this movie ended, it could have gone in that direction, and we could have, you know what I mean? Like one of them could have been taken away to this government
They could have gone
facility,
on
or
Devil's
yeah,
Pass with it and had this whole underground thing in the
yeah,
mountains, in the woods.
missed opportunity, I think.
Yeah, because that really was a cool idea. I really like that
Very
idea a lot.
cool. Yeah.
I'm all about that stuff, like
That's probably why I
conspiracy
gave it
stuff.
the score. That's probably why I gave it the score that I did.
Same.
That storyline.
Yeah, that
But
was
yeah,
definitely the strongest point of the story.
so rank your Bigfoot movie, found footage. Are there only 3 that we can name, or are there more?
No, I've seen 2 others, but I'm drawing a blank on their name. Boggy Creek is one,
I haven't seen that.
and what's the other one that I've seen? I know there's one more.
You've seen them all the Bigfoot found footage movies.
I'm into Bigfoot. Like,
Oh, what was the one that was sort of Bigfoot-ish? I don't know if we watched it or not.
it's found footage, right?
Yes. We talked about it because I remember you didn't really like it, but I can't remember if we ever talked about it. It was a really similar feel. There was like a party of people who go into the woods, and there was some sort of like predator-like creature or Bigfoot werewolf sort of Bigfoot creature, and you didn't love it, but I don't know if we did an episode on it or if we just sort of talked about it in passing.
Embedded.
That's what it was, Embedded.
That's the one I was trying to think of. And the Boggy Creek one is the Legend of Boggy Creek.
Oh, so you were trying to think of it. Oh, okay. Yeah, Embedded was the one.
Embedded is the one I was thinking of.
That was Bigfoot, right? Or sort of something like it. Yeah.
It was
okay.
I didn't like that one.
Yeah, I know you did. I thought it was okay.
There's way more than I realized. Good Lord. They all got real bad ratings, though.
This would
Yeah,
be
so
a sub genre of found footage, right? Bigfoot
oh,
found
and
footage.
there's one with a lime green cover and the word project in it.
Oh, that's all we need for you, right?
That was the
Lime
dinosaur
green.
project, the monster project, the Bigfoot project, the
Is it
museum project.
the Barbados project? Was that project?
Was it project the Barbados?
Barbados something.
I
Just
think
stick
you're right.
project.
But
Just
it
stick
wasn't
project.
but it wasn't green.
Right.
Anyway, if you
Wasn't
are
cool.
interested in seeing another found footage Bigfoot movie that really will genuinely deliver, I highly recommend Exist. Really, really good. I did not like Willow Creek. I did not like Embedded. Made me laugh.
I thought it was okay. It was okay. The acting was not.
Boggy Creek was pretty good from what I remember. It's older, but that one was pretty good.
Okay, so this one though that we're talking about today was okay. It was okay.
Middle ground.
Middle ground. Yeah.
For monster found footage or whatever you want to call this.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
But it's funny, like the last two have been like, do you believe episodes? Like we did Aliens and.
Mm-hmm. I do want to give this movie credit and a shout out to the creators, though. They're doing it all. I think they're directing this, writing it, starring in it, and that is no easy feat.
God, no.
So I do give them credit for that.
Hats
I think
off.
that's impressive. Anytime I see that, I know it's more common to see that sort of thing in found footage, although I would say less common that the directors are key characters in the movie.
I know what you mean, though.
We saw that with Holes in the Sky, which we really liked, and with this movie. But that's always very impressive when we see that.
Yes, I totally agree. And even with $2,000, I mean, this is more than I could do.
Yeah, it's really very well done for especially for considering the budget. So only a few that we've talked about that we know were smaller budgets.
To that extent, yes.
Yeah. Well, get out there and let us know what you think of this movie, Tahoe Joe.
Yeah. And if you have conspiracy theory related found footage, hit us up because I would love stuff like that. Aliens, Bigfoot. We need a good Loch Ness monster. Throw it at me. I'm ready.
I have to say, you don't love it. I like what we call people found footage as well.
I know you do. It's not that I don't love it. It's just not my favorite. It's like
It's not my favorite. My favorite would be like
haunted houses,
haunted locations,
or locations,
or the found footage. Haunted, hospital, haunted asylum, haunted house. That would be my favorite found footage. I do really like the running through the woods found footage too, which is what drew me into this one initially. These are all, by the way, subgenres that we
have created.
We've coined the names.
Trademark.
People are looking at us like people found footage.
What else would you call it though? Because
Like
they're not all slashers, right? People
No.
found footage is not all slashers. Yeah, I think now my favorite subgenre is like possession. And then under that it would be creatures, and then under that it would be haunted locations, paranormal. And then people found footage.
We need to do we need to put some more options out for people to vote on to tell us.
Yeah, that was good. It worked out.
Let's do that again. Let's do it every time we need a couple
completely different ones, except for there was one on there that did get a couple that didn't.
Yeah, I would say it's okay to reuse and put one on there that didn't win yet.
I think it worked out really well, and I got responses across on everything, so works out. So if you want to help have say, we'll do another one in a week, less than a week.
Every Friday.
Yeah. So we'll do. Well, I just mean like we'll do the survey. Like
right.
By the time this goes out, it'll be a couple of days before we do it again. But either way, keep your eye.
All right.
Cool. Well, that was our thoughts on Tahoe Joe, which again is on Tubi. You can stream it for free right now. Yeah, hope you guys had a great Friday. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your weekend. Have a good week coming up. And Tom and I will see you next week.
Happy Friday. See you later. Hey.
Yeah.